Good evening, Guardians, and welcome to our Destiny 2 beta impressions and discussion. I'm your host, Richard Billy Jr., and today I'm joined by Mr. Jakejames Lugo. How's it going, Mr. Lugo?
I'm doing good, Rich. Some stuff to talk about the beta. I've been messing around with it for the last 2 days.
Absolutely. And we're also joined by Mr. Max Moeller. How's it going, Max?
Hey, it's going pretty good, man.
That's good. So, as I just said, this is our discussion on the Destiny 2 beta. For those of you that are watching, well, maybe you may not know, some people got early access to the beta by pre-ordering the game. And I believe that it's going to become open on the 21st of July, which is in a few days. But pretty much, we just wanted to have a quick discussion on what we thought about the beta so far, to see whether or not it's headed in a positive direction, which I believe it is. But let's go ahead and let's start this off. I just want to let everybody know what is actually in the beta for those that are curious. If you're planning to play the beta but you don't have access to it now, you do get access to the opening mission in the campaign, which is Homecoming. You get access to a multiplayer countdown mode, as well as Strike that you can also play. And there are a few subclasses that you can try. But there's also a social space that is going to be available on the 23rd, but that is also the same day that the beta ends. So definitely a lot. I do expect that to be pretty busy this upcoming Sunday when it actually ends. But that's just a quick overview of what's in the beta. So basically, I wanted to talk to Mr. Lugo and Mr. Mueller because they've been playing on both PS4 and Xbox One. So first and foremost, Mr. Lugo, tell me pretty much how would you describe your experience with the beta so far?
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same thing that I played at the Destiny event. Not exactly one for one because we got the control game type in this beta as opposed to when we had the actual premiere Destiny 2 premiere event where we just had the competitive kind of like Counter-Strike PvP mode as well as also the campaign mission and the strike. But for the most part, besides that one little thing, it's essentially the same. Overall, I mean, I think it's good. A lot of people seem to be very mixed about it or be on the kind of like, more uneasy side of things, mainly because it's more Destiny. Now, the thing is, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that because of how popular this series is getting, or at least how popular the game has gotten since Destiny 1 has been out, I believe this is a good thing for a lot of the people that are going to be interested in this, that they're going to dive into it. And a lot of the newer stuff that we're actually really looking forward to, we're not going to hear about that, or we're not going to see it in full until the game finally comes out, which is like the hidden areas for the different types of loot and the exotics that you could find, the closed off zones that you'll be able to explore in PvE, basically, as well as also the other multiplayer modes that are going to be in the Crucible and everything else, the raids and stuff like that. You're obviously not getting that in the beta. So this is just a small sample of what's going to be offered, and it's exactly what you expect. If you like Destiny, you're going to like Destiny 2 more than likely. At least you're going to feel right at home, with some of the exceptions of the changes that they've done with the weapons, with the light level stuff, which doesn't seem like too much has changed, but there are going to be some adjustments from my understanding, as well as also the class abilities, which there are a variety of different like extra abilities for per class that you'll be able to explore and mess around with in the beta. So overall, I'm liking it. I think it's good.
Sounds good. All right. So, and just to clarify, so did you have any connection issues on the PlayStation 4, or was you able to get into a game fairly quickly, or did you have to wait?
I had one instance when there was connection issues, but it really didn't last that long. It really wasn't really as bad. I know I heard stories of people that just couldn't connect to the actual servers, that they were stuck in the menus and they were trying to constantly get into orbit. Like they couldn't even sign in from the main menu. That's how bad it was for them. But that could be, again, any number of reasons. It could be different areas. It could be different number of people that were on that day. But it's a beta. It's never going to be completely consistent with what's going on, with the game itself. And it's not a testament to the final game. Let's keep that in mind. A lot of people have really been talking about it like this is what actually Destiny 2 is going to be specifically. And that shouldn't be the case. This is still a work in progress right now before the game comes out later this year.
That's true. Yes, very good points. Oh well, I mean, yeah, I know the servers got hammered the first day, so it was pretty busy for everybody. I know I was unable to get into a game, but obviously it gets better over time. And we already know that's not really representative of the final product. So we'll see. So, Mr. Max Moeller, I know today the Xbox One beta started. How about you give us your experience?
Oh yeah, mine honestly was pretty similar to JJ. I got through everything pretty quickly. I want to say less than an hour. I tried out everything the game had to offer, but I definitely enjoyed it. You know, I didn't expect to be as invested into the game as I am in terms of like characters and story and sort of what was going on during the homecoming mission, because it's pretty dramatic opener. And I used to love the first Destiny, but I've kind of grown to not dislike it, but I have some pretty select thoughts about it with the way Activision handled the game and just everything that happened with the game and how it wasn't exactly what we expected. But this seems to be, like JJ was saying, this is a lot more Destiny, but it is the Destiny that we wanted, that we should have gotten the first time around. Whether that's good or bad to you is your problem, but I see it as a good thing because it's the game that I've wanted to play, and it's still that same addicting feeling that the first game had. Like just with really how good the combat feels and how you just want to keep playing it over and over again. Like I just want to keep playing the beta. It's the same thing as the first time around when the beta happened for the first game. I'm getting that same feeling again, but this time I feel like we're not going to be let down the second time around because they set up the story pretty strongly. Like it was a pretty strong opening mission. The strike was something else. The strike was next level. It felt on the scale, almost on the scale of raids in the first game. Like it was vast. There was very big open areas to explore rather than it being kind of linear like a lot of the missions sort of get to once you get out of like the open world. Like for example, some of the strikes in the first game you'd have to like go through some of Mars to get to the strike, whereas this one, like it just felt like the whole mission area was just very wide open and didn't contract into itself, which is great. And you know, I didn't like the Cabal in the first game that much. There was, I don't know, just fighting them felt off. It was kind of finicky, but in this game, they seem to have really fine-tuned that, and I actually didn't mind fighting them at all. I think they really nailed down just the way the enemies work, and there's actually a great variety of enemies this time around, whereas in the first one, there wasn't a lack of variety, but the enemies, they were kind of the same. Whereas this one, they added quite a few new classes, and they also kind of revamped some of the classes that were in the first game. Like, for example, Scions this time around are much more difficult, and I honestly found myself scared of them half the time whenever we came up to them. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more story content. I didn't suffer any connection issues, which is cool. Like literally none. PvP, PvE, and I played it with my brother, so we were both together the entire time. And yeah, nothing happened in terms of that. It was all great. But I think my favorite thing they did was that they sort of integrated cutscenes into the gameplay as well. Like, things don't just cut into cutscenes and happen around you. Instead, like characters do things within gameplay. Like, what's his name? I think it's Zavella, the general, like the Titan leader, who is like one of the main characters. He's constantly doing stuff in game. Like you'll have him opening doors for you, or he'll be fighting alongside you at certain points. Whereas in the first game, that was non-existent. And there's like civilians and stuff going on that you walk through, and just like quiet, intimate moments that just didn't really happen in the first game at all. Like things to interact with and stuff. Like even Cade is walking around and like he shoots some guys down while you're with him, which is really, really cool. And it makes the world feel that much more immersive and believable.
Hey, that sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So far, everything sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, it was cool. Positive thoughts.
Yes. So now I do have to ask this question because I believe you both said some things that you liked about the experience. Was there anything that you didn't quite like yet, or you probably need to play more of to just get a better idea of as far as the experience goes?
I can't really say there's anything I super dislike just yet. I need to play it more though. Like I definitely need to play it more. I didn't get enough time in, so it's still like I'm still in like the what's it called, the honeymoon period with it right now. But but also like I knew what to expect, you know, because it is more Destiny. It's just refined of what we expected. So I guess that's probably the biggest reason why. And I also got to play the match at E3, and then I played it again, and it was, you know, obviously the exact same thing. So I kind of already knew what to expect in terms of that as well. So no, not really. Nothing to complain about just yet, but I'm sure there will be things.
How about you, Mr. Lugo?
Repeat that again.
If there's anything that you think you probably needs improvement so far based on what you have
there's
played?
a lot. There is a lot. They're obviously going to need to adjust the balancing, you know, the range and the steady aim and the precision shots and just the damage of the weapons and overall, because it seems like a lot of people are gravitating towards one auto rifle from what I saw in competitive PvP in all the different modes between both the assault mode and the control mode. I think that's whatever. I don't know the specific name of that gun, but I know that it's a solar powered auto rifle that it seems like it's going to be pretty damn good, or at least it's been doing very, very good overall. Besides that, I think that they also maybe need to adjust a little bit of the spawns at some point. There's really not much they could really do, or at least things I could point out in the campaign or the strike. The strike I know was not as long as I thought it would be. It actually went by rather quickly, but it was still, for what it was fine. And again, obviously the loot stuff, which is what we're going to get towards like the actual final game. Because we get right now, you could keep playing the strikes, you could keep playing PvP, and you're going to get almost the exact same type of like loot drops, the armor pieces, and even the guns that you get. And there's even no point to deconstructing them.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. So two other quick questions I would like to ask. Now I know that you both have already touched on some things, you know, the weapons and the cinematics. These are maybe two things that, you know, it adds more to the game. I was going to ask you if there was anything else about this game that feels different in terms of what you've played so far compared to the previous Destiny, or is this just straight up Destiny 1.5?
That's a tough question for me to answer right now because again, I haven't played as much of it as I would have liked. But I'm inclined to say that right now it's more Destiny 1.5, but I think there's going to be a lot more than that once the game comes out. Like, because, you know, that's obviously everyone's biggest worry is this basically Destiny 1.5? But I don't know. It seems like there's a lot under the shell that's going to be revealed once the game comes out. I think it is going to be a lot more different than I expected it to be, which is cool. It definitely has that feel. Sort of like, God, what's the best game to compare this to? I'm going to have to get back to you on that. But I know there's something I had earlier. I had a comparison earlier on a sequel to a game that at first everyone thought was like kind of similar, but ended up being a great expansion on it. But I'll have to get back to you on that.
Sure, no problem.
Honestly, I don't know if it's necessarily fair to say Destiny 1.5 right now. That's what it feels like because there isn't a lot of the newer stuff that's coming. That's part of the overall total package. So I can understand that mindset for a lot of people, especially if they invest a lot of time into Destiny 1. But I still think that this is still early on. This is only just giving us a taste of like some of the little adjustments that they're making, because I think that they still want to convey that this still is Destiny, that it's still Destiny in essence at its core. With whatever adjustments that they have there, especially with the weapons. Now, you could have multiple of the same type of weapon for the different weapon types, both kinetic, energy-based, or your power-based weapon. You could have like a sniper rifle in any one of those slots or any sort of gun in any one of those slots, but they're all different types of weapons. So you're not necessarily going to have the same type of styled weapon in the same slot, or you're not going to want to do so, or, you know, at least as far as like multiple there, you know, you're going to be want to be a little bit more tactile, a little bit more thoughtful with what you bring with you in your loadout, as well as also your powers. That's another adjustment that feels radically different from Destiny 1. You have to be very strategic and very kind of sure when you're going to use your powers and your abilities. Otherwise, you're going to waste them a lot easier. And I remember that specifically when I was at the Destiny event, and I got to check it out and play the game there, both on PC and on PS4. And that was the first thing that everybody there said, is that you really have to make sure that when you throw a grenade, you are actually going to hit something with that grenade, or you're going to kill something with that grenade. Otherwise, you're not getting it back for a while. So overall, I think that calling it Destiny 1.5 is still way too early to tell. Give it some time. It's still, again, still only a beta. And once the newer stuff rolls out with the final game, with all that other PvE stuff and all the other PvP stuff, then we'll get a better idea of whether this is actually a true improvement or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sounds good. And my final question, this is by far the toughest question I'm going to ask both of you. It's a life altering question, honestly. So based on what you guys have played so far, would you say that you would definitely purchase the game?
Yeah, I think I'm going to. Mostly because, like I said earlier, this is sort of the Destiny that I wanted, or at least it seems like it's going to be the Destiny that I wanted the first time around. And I can't say that I didn't enjoy it. Even the first game, I still enjoyed it for like 300, 250, 300 hours, which is more than I can say about a lot of games. So yeah, I'm probably going to purchase it. And also just because I'll have a bunch of friends playing it and I don't really want to miss out. Like, I'm still invested in the universe. It's still a universe I want to do well and, you know, find out more about. It's definitely something that I want to be a part of. And I do think Destiny 2 is going to be an improvement from the first. I see no reason to think otherwise right now after what I've played. Again, I still have to play a lot more of it, but my first impressions are very good.
I think that if you're playing the beta right now, chances are you're going to get Destiny 2 anyway. More than likely. I think your decision's already been made at this point. Is this something that really is going to draw people in that are newcomers that didn't play Destiny 1? I think that's a little bit more of a different question that I don't think we can answer right now. Because if you didn't play Destiny 1, obviously it's going to be a lot more of a tougher sell, but you're also going to feel like this is a much more newer game compared to Destiny 1, or at least Destiny 2 is going to be a newer game compared to Destiny 1 because you never had that benchmark or that baseline experience to compare the two. But the majority of people that are already playing this beta or have been interested in it, they're going to get the game regardless, though, on launch. So it's kind of an unfair question when you really think about it.
This is true. This is true. Well, I know I'm definitely convinced that I definitely do plan on picking up the game, just because, you know, I played the first game, but I got a little frustrated with the grinding. I'm assuming that the grinding will still be in this game, but you know, other stuff like with raids, you know, it was very hard to get into raids because you had to be at a certain level. So I'm hoping all of this stuff will be different, a little bit more accessible to everybody moving forward. But yeah, I'm definitely going to pick it up. So what you said is correct. Anyone that's playing it now definitely will pick it up because, you know, they pre-ordered the game and they already got access to it, or, you know, they got a code through a giveaway. So, but yes, that pretty much concludes all the questions that I had to ask. Did either of you guys had anything else you wanted to say about Destiny 2?
I guess in terms of yeah, people who are jumping in for the first time with the second game, I think it's still going to be a good point for you to jump on, but you're definitely going to miss out on a lot of some of the like smaller moments. Like, for example, the first mission is, as everyone knows, because they showed it like at the reveal stream, it's literally you're watching the tower get destroyed, which you spent so much time in the first game, and that was actually pretty it's pretty emotional, which I didn't expect it to be at all. Like, it was weird seeing that. And that's something that you'll miss out on if you don't have the first game. But I think that it's still going to be a great jumping on point because I feel like this is really going to be the start of Destiny. I feel like for the most part, they're just trying to wipe everything that happened with the first game. So if you do want to get invested in the franchise, I'm going to say this is the point because I feel like any games after this, they're going to continuations rather than just trying to wipe the first game.
Very good point.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, like I said, I think that right now with the beta, I think it just gives us a small taste of what's to offer. It clarifies that this is still Destiny at its core. You're gonna like this. You're gonna enjoy this. They have a lot of big plans for Destiny 2, not only just going into esports with the whole BlizzNet or what is it? Yeah, Blizzard. I think it's called Blizzard. I forgot the competitive thing for like the whole Blizzard competitive stuff on PC. They have a lot of big plans involving stuff like that. Yeah, Battle.net. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Battle.net with everything else, you know, being related to Destiny now this time, or at least trying to implement it into it. So they got a lot of ambitious stuff that they're doing, and they got a lot of other big additions and changes that they have coming to the game in the final version of it that we're going to see when it releases. So it's still early to tell for a lot of people whether this is an automatic buy-in or not, but I feel like our people have already made the decision at this point if they're already getting in on this. That's how popular this series, or at least this game, has been thus far with all the expansions. What I do hope is that we get to see even more stuff, you know, as we go along with the beta, because I think we're supposed to get new additions later on towards like the end section of the beta. And also, I hope we even get an open beta at one point down the line, besides the one we got now. Hopefully right before release, that gives us, you know, shows us even more stuff that they changed up.
Hey, it's a possibility. I know the PC players they'll have their beta in August, so I'm pretty sure Gary will be looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much just some initial thoughts on the Destiny 2 beta. Definitely, if you're playing it now, feel free to leave comments and let us know what you think of the game so far. Or if you are looking forward to playing it in the next couple of days, yeah, feel free to let us know what you thought of the overall experience. But any final shout outs that you guys would like to give? You can go first, Mr. Lugo.
Yeah, just shout out to everybody that's listening to this. Shout out to everybody leaving comments on our stuff on the Koalition website and on the YouTube channel. So we appreciate all the feedback. We appreciate all the interaction, the engagement, and the communication with you guys. That's always awesome. Shout out to the patrons. Thank you for your patronage, for your support. And everybody just keeps allowing us to do what we love to do. Keep bringing you guys great content. So keep it up. Hopefully you guys are in the comments some more. You guys hit us up on Twitter and keep checking out all the new content we got coming down the line.
Absolutely. And how about you, Mr. Max Moeller? Any shout outs, final words?
Yeah, basically echoing what JJ said. We appreciate all the engagement you guys have with us, and always checking out our content, especially the podcast every week. It's always fun to have everyone and talk with everyone.
Absolutely. And definitely thank you all for checking out this little quick show. Want to give a special thanks to the Patreon supporters for all their continued support, as well as all of the fans in general that come and check out the website. Just a quick reminder that we do have a giveaway that we're actually voting on right now on the site, and I will include the link as well in this post. But right now, it looks like Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is the game that has the most votes, but Sonic is right there with it. So obviously that poll ends on Monday, so if you haven't voted, definitely make sure you vote before then. And we will, again, talk to you guys this upcoming weekend on the co-op. So until then, take it easy, and we'll talk to you all in a couple more days.